more accusers are coming out against Senator Al Franken. The women say that they were groped during the campaign events while he was running for Senate back in 2008. In the past month or so, this nation has had a slew of sexual misconduct and assault allegations against famous media personalities and elected officials. The scandals have revealed just how hard it is to remove an elected official like Al Franken or John Conyers following allegations. And yet those in the media, like Harvey Weinstein, Charlie Rose, and Louis C.K., all have been fired, resigned, or taken a step back from their public career. For more on this, we're joined tonight by Kimberly Whaley, law professor at the University of Baltimore School of Law and former assistant U.S. attorney. Kimberly, nice to have you with us tonight. It seems to me that the country, this entire ordeal, the country is witnessing and uncovering the brutal truth that there seems to be a different set of standards for those who hold public office, the lawmakers, as opposed to those in other professions, whether it be private business, in Hollywood, or what? What's going on here? What are we finding out?
Well, I think we're finding out that there's a difference between the court of public opinion and the bottom line revenue dollars in the private sector and the legal, an actual legal cause of action or a legal claim against these people. So in the private sector, it seems to me that, Hollywood moguls this kind of news is affecting their bottom lines and that their shareholders. Their people at the top don't like to have this bad publicity, and they're being whisked out. When it comes to elected officials, it's the voters. The voters make that decision, and once they're in, it's really hard to actually oust these people. I mean, under the Constitution, 2/3 of the Senate would have to vote out a member, and that politically is close to impossible to do. Beyond that, I mean, as from a legal perspective, there's a Title VII of the Civil Rights Act since 1964. Sexual discrimination has been illegal, and it actually does apply to both the public and the private sectors. Although, as we're seeing now, for whatever reason, it gets swept under the rug in Congress.
Well, it seems to me that the lawmakers can't police themselves. Now, it's not everywhere. Woke up this morning to see the news in Minnesota that 2 state representatives resigned today because of this kind of behavior. They admitted it and resigned. So some elected officials do this. All politics is local. But it seems that in Washington, there's the old guard. It's like the fox guarding the hen house. What do you make of that? Well,
I think what happened in Minnesota, some of the wrongdoing, alleged wrongdoing, happened while they were in office. I think that's different from the kind of situation that in a private sector life comes to light while in public office. So that could be part of it. But also, sure, there's an institutional desire to protect oneself. And so Congress has made its own rules for governing how sexual harassment claims are made and processed within the halls of Congress. They made a decision to apply the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act to themselves. But as has been reported elsewhere, there are a lot of hoops to jump through for women who have experienced sexual harassment in Congress. And that translates to barriers to actually bringing this stuff to light. It's A, very difficult to do. And B, I think culturally we've accepted this kind of behavior for so long that women know if they do blow the whistle, it can hurt their careers. And members of Congress have a lot of power beyond probably in ways someone like Harvey Weinstein can exercise in the private sector, because they make laws that govern everybody.
As a former U.S. attorney, give me one suggestion that would help clean this up, that would make it a better environment. Give me a law that we don't have, or something that should be done.
Well, that's a great question in terms of law versus, social norms. I think, there's been a lot of discussion about education programs and training. I mean, that's great if people take it seriously. And I'm a law professor, but I'm also a parent, and I know that without a consequence, bad behavior just continues. And so whether it be legal or it be kind of self-policing, there need to be clear consequences for this kind of behavior. It's like, we see drunk driving accidents go down when there's really clear laws against it and there's an actual punishment. And people just gotten away with it so long, it's sort of a shrug of the shoulder.
Yeah.
So we could look at the laws in terms of beefing them up a little bit. We can also talk about enforcing them. The question of, do we bring criminal sexual assault cases more? The government has to make that decision. One way or the other, I'm hopeful that this puts us in that direction.
There are women in Congress. There are, 23 women in the United States Senate. Maybe something will happen. Kimberly Whaley, thank you so much. Appreciate your time tonight.
Happy to be here. Thank you.